probably the youngest person in this room at this moment. Towards the end of this talk, I'm going to give you three things. First, moving over your breakup. Second, making your first million. Third, probably dropping out of this college. So let's get started. So someday, let's start off with someday. I woke up I woke up yesterday, and it was just any other day, any ordinary day, and I thought that, I want to buy a $1 million car someday. I thought there's this girl, I have a crush on this girl in 10th grade. I thought I'll ask her out someday. Apparently, I have this very good stuff which I want to buy for me, probably someday. But apparently, someday is not on the calendar. If you think of getting that someday, it's never going to come to you. So, and to get to these some days are, all just or nothing, just nothing but the quantum of your imagination towards things is just things which you keep thinking about, of obtaining, of achieving, of dreaming, of wishing. But apparently, at the end of the day, it's just dreams which you're having and calling them some days. So how do you get to that goal? How do you get to what you want? For that, we have a very cool thing called targets. So pretty simple, small word, but targets are actually the key enablers for you to win on anything, for you to actually get to anywhere you want. For example, if I want something in life, if I want to buy $1 million car, or if I want to, probably have a good career in life, probably chase something, I would not just, think of it. I would not just think of what to do, but I would actually set targets. You see, Zuckerberg. Give me an example of Zuckerberg. He had the target. You have to launch the beta, then you have the first version, and then you launch the product. He has dates set forward for Facebook, and that's how Facebook came out. Nothing great that was ever built was built without targets. Every specific thing, even in this whole room which we're sitting, this auditorium, this whole TED setup, it was all done with the target. So targets are something which are really going to matter when you think of achieving something in life. Now, moving forward from targets, let's head to driving forces. So everything that you do in life, everything that you want to do is always affected by a driving force. Probably, the loss of someone, probably, the criticism that you face, probably, your lack of financial stuff. You want financial independence. You want to be famous. You want to be something, And all the driving forces are actually nothing but interlinked with emotions. So everything that you do, everything that is pushing you towards achieving something is basically not all your emotions in that particular situation. If you're feeling too happy, you would want to celebrate. If you're feeling too low, you would want to cry over it. So that is every driving force which is forcing you to do an action or do a reaction is basically a driving force pushing you towards doing that something. Now, moving forward from driving forces, emotions. Emotions play a lead role in your journey from going from being somebody to becoming somebody that you want. Every emotion counts in this journey, You have sadness, you have despair, you have loneliness, solitude, you have your days when you're too down, you have days when you're too high. So apparently everything comes down to emotions. And one of the very strong emotion which is out there right now is love. And love can be good. It can be a good version, it can be a bad version, but love is always good. It's the outcome of love which actually affects you to do things. Now, moving forward from emotions, let's talk about love and heartbreaks, the most cliche topic in this room right now. So let's talk about love and heartbreak, since we have a lot of youth around the room. So if you date somebody, or let's talk about breakup in casual, So it's all leading towards making a first million. So if you please carefully listen. So when you love somebody and that love doesn't really work out, after that love ends, you blame that love, that because of that love, it was not good, the time was not good, the person was not good. When you love somebody, you don't really, there's no measure of something which you do. There's not a calculation sheet or a valuation sheet for a person. There's no valuation sheet for a person you fall in love with. You just fall in love with them. And out there, at that point of time, it all feels right, It feels good. It all feels like a beautiful journey. But when that thing ends, when that particular, that period of relationship ends, it results in a heartbreak. And that heartbreak gets devastating for you. You're stuck on that heartbreak. Now you can't move forward from that heartbreak, And plus you have Arijit Singh forcing you to stay on that heartbreak every now and then. So that is also one more very cliche thing, So let's think of it very simply. When you're in love, you listen to Honey Singh. When you're in a heartbreak, you start listening to Arijit Singh. So that's the whole differentiating factor between love and heartbreaks, right? So apparently the whole point is, if you're in love, you can do good stuff with your partner. I mean, you can achieve something with somebody on your way. But when that love drops out and only the heartbreak remains, you are alone. You are crying. You're sad, and you want to achieve something, and you're working towards that goal. In that way, things become very depressing. now things start getting depressing for you. The moment they start getting depressing for you, you get this thought of quitting that particular, object, what you're doing, the objective of what you're doing. So you start planning on quitting that particular thing because you start getting depressed. And everything, even if it's not working out, naturally you still force your heartbreak and you still force your relationship that it's falling off. Apparently, the whole point is that, the whole point what I'm trying to say, depict from here, from love and a heartbreak, is that when you're in love, it's good. When it's over, it's even better. How? I'll tell you. So, see, when you have a breakup, it's actually pushing you towards to be a better person in life. So when you're done with the breakup, it happens for a reason. I mean, probably the timing was not right. It was not supposed to happen. Because in the end, if something is actually supposed to happen, it falls in place. You can't really put your efforts, manipulate a relationship, and make it work, right? And now my talk's not much on a relationship, so let's talk about the $1 million. Yeah. So after a heartbreak, usually, or after anything that you go through, any emotion that you go through, there's change which happens. A change which is positive. It could be negative. It could be a decreasing factor in your graph chart. It could be anything. But a change is something which drives you towards achieving that goal in life which you really want to achieve. So, for example, for example, let's take Arijit Singh as an example. So probably he had a breakup, he couldn't marry the girl he wanted, and then he became Arijit Singh. He was famous earlier, but then he became more famous next, and then he married the one he loved. So that is again a whole point on change. So change is something which really makes you a better person. Self-improvement comes in play, and you become a better person than you were. You start learning from your mistakes. You start, you have this whole zeal inside of you to prove it to someone, and that zeal becomes such a strong driving force that you actually, let go of everything and actually start achieving things. And actually are afraid. You're not afraid. You're fearless. You have no respect for the status quo because itni besti already ho gayi hai. So you go and start working on dreams, and you're not afraid of rejections. So this whole process gets you to change, and that the outcome of change is basically success. Let's go ahead. Self-improvement, the next big key. So when during the whole process, the whole process of 12 years of studies, and then you have 3-4 years of engineering, and once you step out of the college, you think what you have to do. Right? So 12 plus 4, how much is 12 plus 4? 16, right? Yeah, so 16 years, and then you step out of college and you think what I have to do. Okay, what were you doing for the past 16 years? Take a rewind, come back to the 5th grade, actually. Let's step back forward to the 5th grade. Now you were self-improving from the 5th grade in terms of education and because academics. So from 5th grade, I went till college, 4th year, and I graduated from college. You have self-improved over this period of time, Probably there are things right now which you can now construct. You can now create an application. It took you about 16 years to learn that process. Now that whole timeline, that whole duration was your self-improvement period. And even after anything that occurs, even after any emotional change or anything, it's basically self-improvement which comes in play. You try to become a better person. You now know better things. So every meeting, every project that you do, every result that you get, it self-improvises yourself. So you keep self-improvising a lot over the period of time. Let's talk about infinity. Now, infinity is just a mindset, right? It's a process. It's just a symbol which is actually it's actually moving towards its own self. Now, that infinity symbol is basically you. You're just moving towards your own self. You're standing in this one red circle, which we all are which I'm standing in right now, and I'm just moving around that circle. And I'm not doing much. I'm not stepping out of that circle and thinking what I can do outside of the circle. Now, when you have this zeal, that you see all the success stories. You see all the success stories. Now, let's talk about failure stories. Who actually writes a book on failure stories? You read about Steve Jobs, 800-page biography. You see all his success. He created Apple. He launched Apple. That became the most cash-rich company in the world. Then you talk about Zuckerberg, Facebook. He created Facebook, biggest social media. You talk about all of these success things. Nobody talks about failures because failures are not appreciated in this world. Failures are not appreciated anywhere. Be it your family, be it your relationship, be it your college, be it anywhere. If you're a failure, you're a failure. It's not appreciated anywhere. It might sound bad to you. It might have a bad impact to you, but it remains a failure. Apparently, what we need to learn is how can we convert this failure into an art which will make people look like that you failed, but it was basically the process of what you were building, and that's why you failed. So the whole idea lies behind how do you turn failure into an art to achieving something which was making you successful. So all of this is a process. If you don't love the process, if you only focus on the destination, the destination for you maybe getting I believe you all are doing engineering. So getting placed would be the destination after this whole academic journey. After school, my destination would be college. You got into a college. Now after college, your destination would change. So your destinations keep changing. And your goals and desires keep going up. And every goal and desire is related towards financial or non-financial problems. So it's always about fringe benefits. It's always about finances. So if you think about making $1 million, that's not your destination. If you think about going out and renting a private jet, that's not your destination. Those are just small things and moments that you want to live. What is the outcome of sitting in a Ferrari and riding it to college? The happiness. What is the outcome of dating the one you love? That is again happiness. Everything comes down to you being happy. And if you're not happy in what you're doing, you should quit right away. And I did that same. So I was not happy studying. I failed 7 years straight in math. I dropped out in 11th and I didn't go to college. And apparently, I'm 18 today and I'm standing here. So, it is all about being happy in what you want to do. It might not work out. Things may not work out, You're probably 20 years of age right now, Even if you drop out, if you go and chase things right now, you always have enough time, You have a good enough time span, like Mr. Prithviraj said in the previous TEDx, You have 70 years of lifespan. Like, come on, 70 years. You can always come back and, do 4 years of engineering, go out again. But apparently, the whole thing lies in being happy, living the best life possible, not even best, living best, successful, great. You don't want to die a legend, You don't want to be, you want to be, but apparently that's a whole sector, You don't want to have a statue in Madame Tussauds, and, you don't want to really have a statue in Madame Tussauds and not be happy and die crying on the deathbed, You should not have regrets. I'm not talking about bigger goals, but, you should do whatever you feel like doing right now. You should go, and if you don't want to do something, just don't do it. It's as simple as that. Nobody's going to kill you for not doing it. I see a lot of people crushing their passion. Probably somebody's very creative doing engineering. Probably now, for example, if Sachin Tendulkar's parents told them to be, Mozart, he couldn't have played. You wouldn't have Sachin Tendulkar. He chased his dreams. Everybody followed their passion, and that's how they became who they were. You start accepting yourself and don't drain your own self by the opinions of others. And that is what infinity is all about. It's a mindset. It's you yourself who's going to take you places. It's nobody else is going to do that for you. These academic, colleges, the institutions, they're just a driving force. They're just sailors of the boat. You just have to, and you own the boat. You're actually steering your boat. And these people are just waves and oceans on whom you're traveling to reach your final destination. So that is the whole point of infinity being a mindset. Now let go. Can I have that bottle, please? Yeah, the right one. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Okay, let's do something. Can anybody tell me what's the weight of this water bottle? Anybody? Random guess. See, you can't understand, you don't know the weight of this bottle without measuring it, right? Now let's say if I hold this bottle in my hand straight for the next 10 minutes, what could happen? Be loud, I can't hear you. Your hand will pain. My hand will pain. What if I hold it for the next 1 hour continuously without dropping this down? Yeah, my hand would probably get a paralysis by the time I walk out of here, right? So apparently, this bottle and the weight of this bottle are all your anxieties, your troubles, your worries, your heartbreak, your relationship, or whatever. Everything is basically being depicted by this bottle. When you let go of this bottle, and I keep my hand like this, I can stay like this for even a year, and nothing wrong will happen to me. Because now I have let go of that burden which was stopping me from getting towards things. So that is how you let go of things. Towards the end of the end of this talk, blessed. We all are blessed. This moment, this time, this thing that we are doing over here, we all are blessed to have this life, to breathe another day. We should be thankful for it. We should stop chasing things. You should stop running after, stupid things. We should probably start, living life more often because we are blessed with every day. And the best part, you're going to die in 70 years, so do something about it. You don't want to die being, a nobody. It really doesn't matter, because there are about billions of people on the planet. You want to be recognized. Now imagine, if every person out of the entire population was a famous person, how would the world be? There would nothing be special about this world. And that is what will make somebody special, Being that limited number of people in this whole circle of people, that is what makes you special. And you all are special in some way. Everybody is special in some way. You have a creative front, you have a professional front. Everybody has their own talents, has their own skill sets. So apparently, we are all blessed to have this, and we should be thankful for each day. And that's what I like to end this at. Thank you.